Hello and welcome to lesson 1 of the Business Intelligence tutorial series. This is Jay Adams. In this first lesson, we're going to talk about a really simple kind of dashboard, an email dashboard. Now, you may be saying, Jay, I got email reports. What is dashboarding going to do for me? Well, there are 3 things that you're going to get from an email dashboard that you don't get from a typical email report. And frankly, I think this is a perfect way to start the whole tutorial series off because most of you out there are used to emailing. So here are the 3 things. First is that the typical report is not going to let you concentrate all of your different email campaign types into a single dashboard. And you want to do that because you want to see how each of those campaign types is performing for you. It just basically allows you to concentrate and focus. Now, the typical report is a hodgepodge. You got customer support emails, you got customer announcements mixed in with newsletters, mixed in with offers, promotions, etc. No bueno. It doesn't allow you to focus on the campaign type, and again, in order to improve. Now, imagine if you were doing Google AdWords and you just basically had this big old menu of all your different campaigns and ads, right? And there was no way to cluster them. It'd be a total absolute mess. So that's the first takeaway that you get. Now, the second thing actually gets into a really powerful productivity value add, and that is when you're looking at your campaign groups, you are able to pick out the dogs versus the losers, and you do that simply by looking at your open rates. You can look at your clicks, like what articles were most popular, and then also you can see which ones had the most social sharing involved. So again, you can see what were the winners, what were the losers. And kind of a cool thing is that when you look at your losers, I mean, we all work hard in creating content and it stinks when you see a loser. So kind of again, like the cool thing is that you can see the approach that you took in the winner and see if you can maybe re-angle your subject lines or your approach on an article to convert those dogs again into winners. Now, the third thing is towards productivity. And this is probably not something that you really thought of. And that is, again, once you've got your winners and you know what that winning content is, you're able to save those articles in that text as content blocks commonly within your marketing platform. And again, what's great about that is you're going to have a library of different winners that you can pull down and you can repurpose them into auto triggers. You can repurpose them into nurture tracks. And heck, you know what? You can even run ads against them too, because if you're using Google AdWords, for example, you know where your winning blogs are. And Google is awesome in terms of scanning a page and creating ads around it. So what the heck? You see where all your winners are, rerun those ads, and you got a leg up on what the likely solid campaigns are going to be. So hopefully you've got a sense that, an email dashboard is more than just the opens and clicks and the typical thing that you've been looking for. It's much more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a minute and a half just to navigate through my own creation of a dashboard and call out some of the things that I get from it. So hopefully you find it helpful and you'll stick around for, again, about another minute and a half. And we'll conclude the lesson after that. Okay, cool. I'm in my business intelligence tool and I'm going to go in and create my first dashboard or a dashboard with you. And I'm going to call it the Biz Intelligence series. Okay, so this is all the education emails that I'm going to be sending out, right? So this is what I want to plot. I want to know, again, like what is the activity? So I was talking about the hodgepodge, like all the different email campaigns being in one place. I mean, this kind of gives you the indication of it right here. You see I got my education emails with support emails and all kinds of different jazz, right? So I just want to focus. I want to really look at what's working and what's not with my audience for my education series. And I'm just going to pop these guys right in. Okay, you snuck in there, you get out of there. Okay, so I'm just going to do 4. Okay, so very, very simple. All I'm going to do is I'm just one by one, I'm going to look at what my strongest clicks were. So that one had 34. This one has 22. This guy has 17. And the last guy was 38. Cool. That's my winner. So I'm going to pop right in there. And I want to take a look at the subject. Marketing automation agency imposters and interview questions that weed them out. Well, cool. Obviously, we're talking primarily to a marketing audience, and marketing automation is, we obviously know, is a tough gig for a lot of people getting it dialed in. And, there are a lot of charlatans out there, that say they can do something, but they really can't. So, in our experience, we know what people need to ask and also what answers you should expect for them, the value added, if you will. So, obviously, we felt pretty strong about the content going in, and it's no surprise that it opened pretty well and that we got solid clicks. Now, I guess the kind of disappointing thing is the audience didn't feel so strongly that they were going to share it with anyone. So probably the next round of my email, if I were to do another subject on this or another ad, I'd probably try to get some emphasis or testing some sort of social share aspect of it. Whatnot, right? Who knows? So the open rate was 14%. So if you throw in some possibilities around graphics filtering and other things of that nature, it could have been actually even double, which would have been close to 30%, which isn't too bad, but the typical one that we would get is about 35 to 40%. So not entirely psyched about that. Maybe I'll tweak my subject line a little bit. But then I get back to the click. So at least the message resonated fairly strongly with the people who opened. And by the way, there are other ways that they might have gone to our website as well in order to consume the content. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. So now what I'll do is go back to the dashboard and take a look at my dog, which I believe might have been this guy. No, not even close. Short-term memory here, guys. Sorry. Okay, 17. So that was my dog. Now let's have a look at what the 14 bytes we take from each lead submission piece. Well, Jesus, right there, it was difficult for me to even say it. So basically, I probably had some marble mouth going on in that one, and probably a little bit too conceptual and targeted. So I think what I'd do with that one is basically what we're talking about is what you do with leads after you get them. So I would probably tie in some sort of popular term around that, like if you're spending money on AdWords to convert, get more out of them. Because in past analytics or business intelligence dashboards, I've seen that using a big name asset, right, like Google, okay, or Facebook, etc., helps increase my open rates. So it was a dog, but again, I know it has worked in the past because of my dashboarding, and I know that I could pepper in some cool or widely known brand recognition into the subject line, blended in order to get a higher open rate, most likely. Now, the other thing I know about this too is that, again, it's a fairly targeted topic. So what I would do in terms of repurposing my content is I try to improve the open rate with the subject line. I'd probably test some things in Google AdWords to see if my click rates were pretty good. The typical click rate we get is anywhere between 10 cents to 25 cents, depending on the targeting and whatnot. So, the long and short of that is I can at least test some of my subjects and some of the tweaking I would do on Google AdWords and see how well it resonates before I maybe pile it back into a message. Okay, so we have dashboarded everything, all of our type emails, newsletter types into one dashboard. We have seen what worked, what didn't. We had some analysis on how to tweak the dogs to make them winners, and maybe a little bit of a process to test some ideas and some thoughts on Google AdWords, super duper cheap that way. Then the final thing again is repurposing the content. So when we find those winners, what we want to do is, I've got a winning article and I want to reuse it. I want to reuse it perhaps in my nurture drips, and I can use it in auto triggers. And then I can also use it. I could really take that content. Yahoo's awesome, or at Google, and a Google AdWords will scrape my blog page and produce an advertisement from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break away, and it's sort of a bonus if you want to continue tuning in here, is I'm going to show you how you can take all of your winners, save them as content blocks, so you can basically, save them for using them time and time again across different mediums. Okay, I know that the video has been taking a long time, but this is actually, it's got a lot of value in it because content takes a wicked long time to produce. So when you come across some golden nuggets, you want to at least preserve them in a library so you can just use them time and time again with your different audiences. Because again, if you're going to be triggering emails if people come to your website, or if you want to include them in a nurture track, or again, as I had mentioned about the Google AdWords, it's like if you want to know what sites you're going to scrape from, you just want to have that nice repository because it is the gift that keeps on giving. So with that said, this is how you preserve a block. If I have an email where the opener is awesome, and we had done one about DKIM and using DKIM or checking DKIM to make sure that you basically you don't get thrown up as anonymous by Gmail. And again, we know through our YouTube advertising that this has just done gangbusters with us for this, and it really did well on the opens and clicks as well. So long story short is I just look at the content and I see that I've got something here, and if I have new people that are coming into our list, let's just say from Salesforce, or if they've converted off of one of our advertisements and I want to start to drip to them, I'm going to add this as a content block. So I'm just going to put DKIM. I'm going to call it winner. DKIM. Okay, so now I've saved it, and if I type in winner, you'll see that I always have that there. So your platform, if they have the ability for you to save blocks, make sure you're doing that. Couple the key lessons that you get from your dashboard, and then again, as soon as you know what those great articles are, save those blocks, reuse them, save yourself a ton of time, and also hedge your bets, right? I'm sorry the video went a little bit long, but hopefully you got a lot out of it anyway. In the next instructional video, we're going to take a look at dashboarding your landing pages. Now, obviously, landing pages are the next step in the process with all the different leads and individuals that you're spending tons of money to capture. So what we're going to do is show you how to compile a dashboard of all of your different landing pages so you can have a look at traffic that's going to them, as well as the conversions. And also we're going to build on that theme of choosing out the winners and the losers. So thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll close with this, is if you don't have an account to do business intelligence, don't worry about it. You can actually sign up for a free trial on Makesbridge, and that will allow you to follow along with a lot of these messages. But I want to quickly add, this is not about pumping new accounts into Makesbridge. This is about trying to educate you and helping you get into business analytics and business intelligence and basically do a better job. So hey, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Ciao.